All right, so I am standing about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 feet away. So this is the way the vehicle presents itself. Don't see any obvious blemishes, right? So we're going to go ahead and just push right in and start taking a look. One of the first things I like doing is just kind of seeing the headlight assembly, front bumper area, grill. Just a nice little tap. Make sure nothing's rattling loose. The lenses look nice and clear here on the right side headlamp. Okay, again, the grill's in proper shape. And on the left side as well, I'm not seeing any cloudiness on the lenses as well. Okay. And then let's give it a couple more taps. Good, good. Nicely secured. This is an electromagnetic paint meter. What I use this for is to check for signs of respray, hidden damage, and if it's post-factory paint work or not. So let's go ahead and dial in. And if it's post-factory, we should get some consistent readings. 5.5 to 6, that's okay. It's when we see like 9 or 14 where we jump into the double digits, or something as little as 1 or 2 millimeters. Okay, so far looking so good. Right, so hood and left fender good. Looking at the windshield, don't see any signs of any obvious chips, scratches, or delamination. I've already taken a still photo of the public ID, and also like to take advantage of this angle and get a shot of the upper dash area. I'm pretty much just looking for cosmetic imperfections. I still consider the car relatively new, so I don't expect to see any cracks from weathering, unless it was in Arizona or something. Also, I'd like to get a shot of the wheel well area. What I'm checking for is any signs of debris or impact damage as a result of the tires running over something. Gives me a chance to get a look at the strut assembly a little bit, and also we'll be looking at it from underneath. But I always like to try to capture as many angles as possible. Here looking at the left front tire, Yokohama 235/50 R18, if I'm reading that correctly, upside down. I also like to take a look at the DOT number when the tire was manufactured. Looks like it's in, it was a 6 week, so that was February of 2018. So, to me, those are new tires. Looking at the rims, just a bit of curb rash there, and then if I can, I try to get a shot of the brake rotor. So, if not, we just give it a shot. While I'm down here, I like to get the side angle view. And what I'm doing is I'm checking for any signs of dings, dents, or waviness. Right, and also get a shot of the outside mirror. Sometimes these are susceptible to getting scraped up or beat up because they are sticking out, but looks pretty good. Give it a couple taps, like it's nicely secured. And then a shot of the roof area. What I do here is I get paint measurements as well, because sometimes on the news channel you see these protests, and for whatever reason they like jumping on other people's cars. So I always get a reading just to make sure we're okay and there's no signs of repair. Looking at the left door, 5.5 and 5. I also like to capture this area as well, because in some cars I'll see from the fingernails just kind of digging into the paint, but that looks pretty smooth. Trim looks good here on the windows. I don't see any scratches. Just a little bit right here, just maybe some compound from being at the shop there, but that comes right off. Okay, let's get the rear door, 5.5, 5, and 5. Looking good. Again, all this stuff is wiping off, right? And then the right rear wheel area. Sometimes that's a bit of a tongue twister for me, so I get stuck on that. And again, the tires, I don't see no sidewall damage. Rims look decent on this one here. Rotors, I don't see any signs of grooves. And then the pad, we'll see if that comes out. I actually review this video later. There's a glare on there, so I don't actually really see what I'm doing here. And then we'll just do the side panel view from the back side. And then looking at the rear bumper, again, just a couple taps. Everything seems to be nicely secured. Gaps look decent. Rear window, I always like to look at these on the defroster lines. An example is if they apply post-factory tint or window film and it's been removed, sometimes with the razor blade they damage the defroster lines. So I'm not sure if that's the case here, but I always check anyways. And then the trunk area here. Okay, 6. So far we're getting nice, solid, or consistent readings. Can't get the reading on that bumper. Okay, and nothing there either. So, okay, moving on. Do a side panel view here first. All right, and then looking at the right quarter, that's 6, 5.5. Wheel well area. All right. Rim. I didn't note if it's missing the air cap there, but that's something I should always should have. Looks like a little bit of curb rash there. Sidewall tires look good. Same production date, 2018. And again, all this stuff here just wipes right off. Paint this semi-smooth to the touch. And let's get some door readings here. 5 and 5.5. Outside mirror, good. Fender, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6.5. And then we got the windshield from this angle here, and then a shot of the dash. I think I'm getting it. Right. And the roof. And one final view before I move on to the engine bay area. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do a startup. So I've got the camera right on the instrument cluster. So what we want to see is on the first phase is we want to see all the lights illuminate. Like the check engine light, brake, battery lights. That shows me that all those indicator lights are working, and then they should go out after the engine runs for a second or two after it performs its self-diagnosis. So here we go. That way we can also experience how the engine cranks over, if it seems sluggish or is it quick to start. So here we go. So first position, steering wheel adjusting. Okay, lights all illuminating, and then they should go out as soon as the system check has completed the cycle. The hood is showing that it's open, and I do have it open right now. Right. Okay. All right, so fuel gauge is around 3/4. Temperature is below the minimum line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the vehicle actually idle for about 10 or 15 minutes while I check out other things on the car. The reason I do this is because I want the engine to get to operating temperature, and also from the heat of the engine, it'll heat soak the suspension. And so if there's anything loose going on there, as it heats up, it loosens up, and hopefully we can pick it up on the road test. If not, then everything is pretty solid. We're going to walk towards the back of the vehicle right now, and what we don't want to see is we don't want to see any type of smoke coming out from the exhaust. We want that to be to blow clean, because if it comes out black, blue, gray, or white, that all means something, right? And that's something that I would diagnose. But here it looks pretty clean. I'm going to stay quiet here for a second. All right, and I'm not hearing any misfires or any rough idle. All right, and then we're going to walk towards the engine bay here. So the engine bay, it's got it's really covered. So my vision was really limited to as far as what I can see. So one of the first things I do look at is I look underneath the hood. I look at the insulation. Sometimes I'll see that's chewed up. For whatever reason, rodents love to hang out in the engine bay area, maybe because it's warm or it's dark or it's cool, whatever be the reason. They hang out there, and if I see any signs of rodent habitat, right, then I need to check as much as I can, because what they do is, in some cases, they chew at the wires, right, or the hoses, and that's really expensive to repair. But as of right now, even though my site was pretty limited, I was able to get this cover off here, but the other ones, they're already secured. It is missing a couple of the securing pins here. So I was able to remove this. This came off fairly easy. All right, I've already checked the oil. Oil looked decent. I got the VIN stamp there on the chassis. Right, and if the battery was a little easier access, I could check the battery as well. But again, it's pretty well covered. Brake fluid looks good. I saw that, and in removing this, I was able to see the coolant fluid. I didn't see any signs of cross contamination or bubbling when it was running earlier. Right, and then here, just here's more of the underside here. And again, I'll stay quiet for a little bit. All right, so I'm not hearing any abnormal noises coming from the bottom or the top end of the engine, right? And again, I'm going to let it idle for about 10 or 15 minutes and see how the temperature is doing, and see if there's any noises that pops up on us. I've already road tested the vehicle for about, I think, 3-4 miles. So what I did in here is just kind of touch on everything that I've checked. So I've already driven hands-free for but higher speeds. The vehicle didn't veer to the left or to the right. That was pretty dead on. When I apply the brakes, stops straight. Again, doesn't shoot over to the left or to the right. I checked the cruise control. No pulsation coming from the brake pads, or the brakes, I should say. All the windows work. Check the windshield wipers. Heated seats are working fine. I guess I'll check the heated steering wheel right now. But all the windows worked. I went through all the menu options there for the infotainment. Shifting was seamless, and the interior was pretty clean. Checked the operation of the windows and the sunroof. Right, power seats worked as well, and horn works, wipers worked, no streaks. Again, I'm just gonna go ahead and just turn around now and head back and wrap it up. But and also I ran the scan on the onboard diagnostics, and I still need to review that. But from what I recall, I don't think I saw any faults in the system. Okay. And looks like we got one remote. There may be another one, but this is what I used to test during the inspection process.